crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs. Today we are using our stamps and we are going to use 3 different ways to color our stamped images. I'm using the Gina K Design Sending Flowers stamp and die set and I will be using the master layouts to do the panels on the card as well as a couple other things. This rain boot, we are actually going to be using an embossing pen and embossing glaze. And then for the watering can, I'm going to color that with markers. And then for this, the tulips in the vase, I'll be doing watercoloring using Gina K inks. So I can show you how to do that. Let's get started. Alright, I'm going to start with doing the watercoloring. I did stamp this onto Tim Holtz Distress Heavy Stock White because I thought it would hold the water a little bit better. And I did heat emboss this as well. I used black pigment ink, VersaFine Clear Nocturne to stamp, and then I used clear embossing powder on top of that. And I find when you're doing watercolor techniques, it kind of helps because the stamped image is raised, so the ink kind of stays in each little well, so it does help quite a bit. I will start out and I'll do the green, but then so I can show you how to do it, but then I'll just put some music on, speed it up a little bit, and just get through the coloring. So, but I do want to show you how to do it. So we're going to use the grass green. I'm just putting that on my glass mat here. And so I have a water brush pen that's filled with water. So what you do is you add a little bit of water. Depends on what, how deep of a value you want. But just kind of mix this in with the water, and then now I have it's green on there. So you just, paint it right on there. Okay, and then so right, I don't know if you can see it, but right off of the green right there, I made like a little extra splooch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean off my brush, and then if you just put a little bit of water on there. And then usually if you take a paper towel and you can pick up that extra, so when it dries you should be good to go. And that's what's good about, doing the watercoloring. I'm gonna have a little bit up here too. Alright, so then I'm just going to wipe this up. This is the beauty of having a glass mat, is you just wipe it right off, no problem. Alright, I'm gonna let that part dry, and then I am going to go to the flowers. So for the flowers, I have Red Velvet and Sun-Kissed Coral. Alright, and then for the water in here, I'm using the Blue Sky. I know we have our first image done, and I will let that dry and we'll move on to the next. Alright, so we are all done with this. I wanted to let you know that once this had dried, I went back in and I colored in the vase with the smoky slate and did the same technique because it was just looking really stark as all the white space behind there. So I think that adding a little bit of the smoky slate in there just kind of makes the vase look a little more realistic. Alright, so that one's all done. Alright, on to the next. Now we have the watering can. And this is the background paper that I'm using for my card. And this comes from, I'll show you. This is an old Gina Parisian garden pattern paper collection. So this is my color palette. So I pulled out a few of the markers that I want to use. I haven't decided between the grays, but the green will be jade green, and then the purple is dusty purple and lavender, and I'm probably going to use the ice gray. But both of these purples matched perfectly with this. So we can get going on that. I'm not the best marker colorist in the world, but I'll do what I can. So I'll get started, and then I'll speed this part up as well so that you don't have to watch the whole thing. But I love these. These are the Spectrum Noir. These are the Tri-Blend, and this particular set is the brush markers, not the with the little nib on it. So you get 3 colors in one marker. So you know they all blend together perfectly, which is awesome. And you get the light in the mid and then the dark. So what I usually do is I use the lightest first. I'm just trying to be really careful. Okay, so I have that, and then do a little bit of the mid color, kind of where you think the shadow would be. And then you can use the dark Okay, so that kind of looks like a hot mess right now, but what you do, and then go back to the light one, and then you just go over it, and you can bring the dark into the lighter, and then it evens it all out, and then you get a little bit of shading on that. So I'm going to go through and color these up, and then meet you at the end, and I'll show you the finished product. Alright, we have our alcohol marker colored stamped image. So now on to the next. Alright, our third method that we're going to be using is using a distress embossing pen, which is basically a pen filled with embossing ink. So just that clear sticky ink that you use to to heat emboss. And we're going to be using that with some of the Tim Holtz embossing glaze. And these are actually translucent. So, you know, instead of, you know, like when you're heat embossing and you use white powder, and that will cover up everything and you can't see through it, these you can actually see through. So if I just put this on this whole thing and melted it, you'd still be able to see the print behind it. So it's very interesting, and you can use it to do, you know, coloring on your projects and things like that. So this is going to be a very kind of drawn out process because I'm going to do each thing separately with different colors. So It might take a little while. I'll start and I'll show you how to do it, and then again I'll speed it up so that you don't have to sit through all that fine details. But first I just put my anti-static powder over the image so that the powder will only stick to where we want it. Just thinking what to start with. Maybe we can start with this large image in, actually let's start with this one. So you just have it like a pen and you color in. And this will stay wet so that you can apply the embossing powder to it. Alright, so now that we have that all colored in, this flower I wanted to use Abandoned Coral. And you can see that it did stick to that. And we'll put that back in the pot. And then we can heat this up. So here's the embossing tool, and it has 2 levels, and you put it on the higher level, so level 2, and I'm just going to let this warm up before I put it to the paper. You can see in there the heating element starting to heat up. And so you can see that we've melted that, and now it's nice and shiny. And you do want to be a little bit careful because you're going to end up reheating the embossing already there. So just, don't, kind of keep things moving. Try to get it done as soon as you can so you don't mess up the other things. But all right, so I'm going to go through and use all my colors. The big flower, I'm going to use Lumberjack Plaid. These side flowers, I'm going to use Squeeze Lemonade. I'm going to use Mowed Lawn for the foliage. Twisted Citron for the little flowers on the boot. And then Shaded Lilac for the actual boot. So let me go through and do this, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, we are all done with our embossing glaze. Excuse me. All right, so let's get all this cleaned up. All right, out of the way. Okay, so we have our 3 ways. We have our watercolor using our ink pads. We have alcohol marker ink blending. And then we have using an embossing pen to apply glaze wherever we wanted it on here and doing whatever colors we wanted to do. And then now we have this beautiful shiny glazed stamped, I can't think of what I want to say. Anyway, I loved this look for the rain boot one because rain boots are kind of shiny, so I thought that would be really good for this one. Alright, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut out all these images on my in my die cut machine, and then we will put the cards together. Alright, are you excited to see the finished products? I made 2 cards, and I thought we would put the third one together, but here are how they turned out. Here is our watercolored one, and I used the Petite Flourish embossing folder on the back, and I used let me grab that so that I can tell you what it's called exactly. This one is from the Garden Tour from Gina K from the Pattern Papers. And then I used Master Layouts 2 to cut out all the background pieces. And then I used the new Master Layouts 18 to cut out this bordered effect there. So I thought that came together very nicely and looks so pretty. And then the next one I just love, of course, and you will know why. Yeah, are you ready? Look it. I just love this one. And this is our alcohol marker one. And I used from Master Layouts 18 the little strip, and I cut 2 of them and I glued them on the back of this mid strip here. This mid strip on all of them is from Master Layouts 14, but I will put the measurements in the description box so that you can just cut that if you don't have Master Layouts, so that you can make this project too. Okay, so we have these 2 cutie cards, and then we will put together our third card, which is our Embossing Glaze card. And I will list everything that I used in the description box. I encourage you to use what you have on hand, but if there's anything that you were interested in purchasing that I used today, I will list all of those links there, and I do have affiliate links. So we have our beautiful piece there. And then actually I forgot to say that these pieces are also from Master Layouts 18. Trying to look around and see if I can find where that went off to show you. Oh, here we go. Okay. So here's the Master Layouts 18, and this piece is actually the inside of this, which is this one here. And then this particular one is the matting layer for this. So that is what I used for that. And then here are the two strips that I also used. And you can see that here for that. And then on this one, it was that. Okay. And then for the papers on here, the black and whites, this one came from the Petite patterns of the pattern paper. So I just want to give you a couple of tips and tricks on this one. So we could put this right on the top and it would just have a little teeny bit poking out. But I like it like this, where you can see the whole thing. So one tip that you can do is that you can cut this in half, and then you can use each side and put it to whatever your liking is on this. So let me show you how I did that. In this case, I just put this in here. This is my Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer, and I lined it up and cut it in half. And it doesn't really need to be equal because you can't really see what's going on there, but it doesn't even need to be straight. Just in half is good. And then what you want to do is put some glue on one edge, and that's my glue press, which I love. It kind of saves my hand from trying to squeeze the glue. So one thing that I want to do is I want to try to make sure that the scallop things are even, like as far as the bloops go. So like this particular piece, which was from Master Layouts 14, I believe, just looking at my notes, fits perfectly, and with one bloop taken off of each edge. So you can kind of line it up with that. And then I'm just trying to get this straight so you have an equal border on there. And then we'll do the other side. So you just want to make sure everything is evened up with each other. Okay, once you have it how you like it, then you turn over, give it a nice little back rub, and get that stuck down. Okay, so this is our background panel, and I want to have this match up with this layer and not the back layer. So I'm going to actually put this on here first, and then we can cut off the extra and then put it on the mat. So I'm just going to use my glue. And this particular one, the middle is so small it probably won't dip down. But on this particular one, because the pieces were so thin and just on the very edges, there was a big gap on the back of that. So I just took a scrap and ran it down the middle so that would be completely even against there, so it didn't get like that weird dip kind of thing going on. Alright, so then put this on here and you can kind of figure out which, do I like it this way, do I like it this way? I think I like it this way. So we'll put this on and you line it up even with the edge. And again, same thing like with the bloops. You kind of want to be equidistant bloops. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure there's no technical term for that. Maybe the scallops or something, but so you want to like measure, just kind of eyeball it of, I've got 2 on this side and 2 on this side hanging off. Okay, same thing. Make sure that sticks. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is, because I want to trim this off and have it look nice and neat, is I'm going to take my trimmer again, and I'm putting my finger here so I can feel when that edge is right even, the bottom edge is right even with the blade, because I don't want to cut off any of this mat at all. So it'll be exactly even with the bottom of that. Same thing, putting my finger here, I feel the paper, so I want that even. Alright. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. Just look how pretty that looks anyway. I love it. You can totally make a different kind of card with that and then just kind of use this design. Alright, I'm just going to use my tape runner. Okay, and then we'll put this on the card base. This is an A2 card, so the card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and then you score it on the 8.5 side at 4.25. And I like the master layouts to do the layers because it gives you a nice edge around that. I love the way that that looks with the bigger, a little bit bigger border. Alright, so now we need to put this on and together. So I'm just going to use my tape runner again. Got a little muck smoky on there. If you have one of these white erasers, they are great for taking little goops off and stuff. Alright, so we're going to put this on here. This is actually, because this is raised up too, this needs to have a little support under it so that it's even across. So I just have a scrap strip here. And I'm just gonna fold it in half. And then I'm just putting this over on this side. And then we will glue this on. And you can kind of think of, you know, do you want this way on the bottom? Do you want it over? Do you want it centered? Do you want it right? So however you want to do it. You just want to make sure you're lined up. Okay. I'm going to put a block on that so it'll catch, and then we can take the backs off of this. And I used the foam, the thin foam squares, and they're from Scrapbook Adhesive, and there's little ones and big ones. I just like to use my vinyl weeding tool to take the backs off. It makes it very easy. Okay. And then we can kind of see, you know, where do we want to put this on here. And I love the bright colors on here against the black and white. I think that looks so pretty. So here we go. We have our 3 different methods. This one was the watercolor. This one was the alcohol marker. And this was with the embossing pen with the embossing glaze, and that gave it a nice shiny look for that rain boot. So let me know which of these cards is your favorite, or which of the techniques is your favorite, and you can put that down in the comments. Again, I'll list everything in the description box in case you're interested in any of the products I used today. Come join me over on Facebook. I post cards, videos, and any crafty sales I come across, so that's a good resource for you. I think that we are all set, and until next time, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and take care. Bye-bye. Here are a couple more videos I thought you might like. Thanks so much for watching.